Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here, for having some fun with me this morning, and really for being dedicated to improving your own mental internal narratives. I want to say good morning to everybody here. Looks like we've got a whole bunch of folks here this morning. That's great. Good morning to Janet from Charleston. Good morning to Lauren. You're coming in from Daytona Beach. Good morning, Amanda from Charleston. Dan from Omaha. Janet, what did you do this weekend? I took myself to the beach at Sullivan's Island. I date me good. Yes, you do date you good. How great that was. Good morning, Shauna. Cool thing for you is being present for the kid. Yep. Yeah, we've had, it was quite the busy weekend. My weekend had a lot of fun stuff in it. It'd be hard to pin down any one thing that was particularly cool because so much of my weekend was cool. But, I would have to say that on Saturday, I had just a lot of fun interactions with people. I feel like I got to really be a part of my local community and just talk to a lot of people that I don't usually talk to. And it's great to be able to strengthen those connections. I feel like in life, there are lots of people that we know because we pass by them every day and we smile, they smile. We know that we would probably like them if we got to know them, but we haven't really ever taken the time to do that. And this weekend I was able to do that and just really kind of have conversations with folks I don't usually have conversations with. And it was great. It felt wonderful to just continue to be connected with them, with my local community. So good morning, Donna. Looks like you have arrived. Wonderful to see you here on the call today. Yeah, so my weekend was just a whirlwind of awesomeness, and I'm sure that yours was as well. So what we're going to do today is the same thing we do every day. I'm going to pull a card. We're going to affirm that we are the affirmation on that card, and then after we do that, we're going to write it down in the comments, share it, really encourage each other, and go out and live this, embody this in our day. So I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Let's have some fun today, and let's pull the first card of the week and say that today I am aligned. I am aligned. I move with purpose in my chosen direction. So I am aligned. I move with purpose in my chosen direction. Are you aligned? You are aligned. You move with purpose in your chosen direction. So I'm going to write that down in the comments. I am aligned. I move with purpose in my chosen direction. All right. Indeed, being aligned is so important. It's very important as we become adults and we have this superpower to do whatever we want. We also have this super Achilles heel that we can do whatever we want, and oftentimes whatever we want is not necessarily the thing that would benefit us most long term. And so it's really important for us as grown-ups, as people who are responsible for our own lives, to move with purpose in our chosen direction, to be aligned with our end goals, to have end goals, and to be moving toward those end goals in a purposeful way. I am aligned today. You are aligned as well. And this is a great card for us to start the week because this allows us to have direction as we go through the week, as we meet the people we're going to meet, as we engage in the projects that we're going to engage in, as we decide how we're going to spend our precious 24 hours, what we're going to do during those time that we all have. We have to move with purpose. So good morning, Brenda Jean. It is really good to see you here today. And you certainly do have to be aligned when you're only on one leg. Decide what you're going to do it in the most efficient possible way. Absolutely. So yes, we are aligned. And oftentimes when we when we find that we have some kind of a physical limitation, then we are very much, we're a lot more intentional about everything that we do. I know every time that the most recent time that I was injured and it was really affecting my mobility was when I separated my soleus and my gastrocnemius in my calf. And while it wasn't necessarily perpetually painful, it was certainly debilitating. And I remember that I would sit down before I left the house and be like, okay, what exactly am I going to do? What order exactly am I going to do it in? What do I need to accomplish, and how can I accomplish this in the minimum amount, with the minimum amount of putting pressure on this leg? So we are aligned people, and we move with purpose in our chosen direction. And we have the ability to choose any direction that we want. And the thing is, and I think one of the biggest challenges of adulthood is that we can be anything we want. We can do anything we want. And yet everything that we do requires a certain amount of time. It requires a certain investment in our energy. And deciding what we want is more difficult than actually moving in that direction. Choosing a target is more difficult. And just like the way that an archer bends a bow and let's fly an arrow, while we aim at the target, that doesn't mean that we always hit it. We aim and perhaps we hit it right dead center bullseye, and perhaps we miss completely, and perhaps we have something in the middle. But no matter what, we still let our arrow fly in that general direction. And I think one of the most important things that we can do is just realize that we get to adjust our targets. I remember that when I first got into goal setting, that I was very dogmatic and rigid about making sure that I didn't set a new goal until I had achieved my previous one. And I found that attitude was actually blocking me, because there were certain things that life had changed, and those things were no longer relevant. And why on earth do I want to do things that are no longer relevant? I had made goals, and those goals were predicated upon certain people or certain situations being true. And once those things were not true, then the goal itself became meaningless. And so I remember just kind of looking at it and being like, but why am I doing this? Why am I working on this? Why am I holding myself back from other things that I'd like to do because of this one thing which is no longer relevant? The flip side, of course, is making sure that we are not always chasing the shiny new thing. In his book Finish, John Acuff actually writes about how the most beautiful thing that we could possibly be looking at, the most attractive thing, is something new when we are 90% done with something that we said that we wanted to do. And so it's really important to have that sense of discernment. And when we know what our end goals are, it becomes so much easier to be in alignment. So Janice says that to be alignment means being in vibrational accord with my highest self. Yeah, if you want to think about the world in the sense that everything is vibration, then let's be vibrating in a way that is in accord with the type of vibration that is going to bring the people, the places, the situations, all that other stuff over to us. And I do believe that just by putting our own intentions out there, that we do bring these situations to us. And it's not that we did something supernatural to bring the situations to us. I believe that we are modifying our own perception, that we are inherently perceptual beings. And as we modify our perception, as we work to really see things in a different way, as we decide how things are, then the way that we perceive them is differently. It's like nothing really changes in the world, but our eyes see them differently. Our perception takes things in differently. Whatever we choose to focus on is going to inform our perception. And so if we think the whole world is against us, we're going to find reasons why that is true. And if we think the whole world is for us, we will find reasons why that is true too, even if we lived the same exact day. So we are aligned people, and we are going to move with purpose in our chosen direction. Now, sometimes, sometimes we get distracted, or we get stalled, or we start doing something and then don't finish it for whatever reason. And oftentimes, when that happens, it's because we've lost focus on what our goal is, or because we need to focus on a goal that's a little bit closer to where we are right now, and make sure that that we are in control of outcomes. We can't necessarily control the way that the people around us behave, but that if we make sure that our goals are actionable, that there's something that we can do, that there's something that we have control over, then we are much more likely to be able to accomplish them. So, for example, one example of a goal would be to have a newsletter with 5,000 subscribers, but that's not particularly actionable on my part or yours. How do you create 5,000 subscribers out of nothing? And the answer is, of course, that you don't. You can't do it. It's impossible. But what we can do is we can make sure that we put out a daily newsletter and that we market out in certain different channels every single day. And in doing that, we will find that our 5,000 subscriber count number, as kind of like arbitrary and meaningless as it is, that just sort of happens automatically. So we want to make sure that as we are aligned with things, as we are aligning with the goals and the purposes that we have set out to achieve, that we make sure that we are being actionable about it. The archer bends the bow, the archer draws back the arrow, the archer points the bow in the direction that they would like the arrow to fly, and then they release. And then the arrow does the thing that it's going to do. And maybe it hits the target, and maybe it misses the target, and more likely it hits close to the target. Either way, the archer walks toward the target, picks up the arrow, and then selects a different target. And that's how we are in life. So I am aligned today. You are aligned. We move with purpose in our chosen direction, and we have a whole week to really embody this. I'll be back tomorrow with another wake-up call. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It is wonderful to see you around and to just know that that my friends are gathering here today to really be encouraged and to have, to basically have our lives built into by each other, through each other, and from the actions, from the acts that we perpetuate for and with each other every single day. So thank you so very much for being here. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Janet. Looking forward to seeing you, and hopefully the other compadres that you have with you are going to be coming back as well. It'll be absolutely wonderful to see y'all around. Anyways, I love you. I care about you. I will be back tomorrow with another wake-up call. And until then, aloha from paradise.